All right, guys, let's go through 326, 327. Um, Working with rates here on 326. David Fisher of Chicago, Illinois, jump rope 56 times in 60 seconds. If he could continue at this rate, about how many times or how many jumps would he do in 13 minutes? Well, 60 seconds is actually a minute. Um, so we're just going to go 56, and we're just going to multiply that times 13. 56 times 13. I remember, I hope you guys are working on some of this multiplication and division, without calculators first. So the first one is 728 jumps in 13 minutes. Number two, some scientists recommend that the average person drinks about 8-ounce cups of water per day. At this rate, about how many cups of water would a person drink in 2 weeks? So for this one, there's 7 days in a week, obviously. So 2 weeks would be 14 times 8. That would be 112 cups of water. Again, 8 times 2 weeks would be 14 days. On average, Americans eat 20 pounds of pasta per year. This is kind of a different one, but okay. So on average, 20 pounds per year. Does this 20 pounds per year seem reasonable to you? Yes or no? Um, I'm not so worried about this, just that you did some kind of math to figure this out. Does it mean, there's different ways you can do it. Actually, the book broke it down and took our pounds and turned it into ounces. But even if you take 20 pounds, okay, and you divide that, okay, that's 20 pounds per year. Well, how many, let's just break that down. Well, how much is that per month? Well, there's 12 months in a year. So if we take 20 and divide it by 12, you get like 1.666 or whatever, but I think it'd be like 1.7 pounds per, ooh, that's some bad writing, per month. Okay. LBS is just short for pounds. So 1.7 pounds per month, does that make sense? Well, yeah, if you think of, how much a pound of hamburger is, and think of all the things that you have, pasta wise, from spaghetti to lasagna to, salads, things like that. So I would say, yes, that is a reasonable answer that somebody is eating, the average person eats 20 pounds per year. At this rate, how many pounds of pasta would somebody eat in 23 years? Well, 20 times 23 would be 460 pounds in 23 years. Okay. 36 buses would be needed to carry the passengers and the crew of 747 jumbo jets. Okay, so we got to fill out our rate table. So if we start here, our rates, 36 buses per 3 jets. Okay, so if we divide that, we just come up with 36 divided by 3 is 12. So we're counting by 12s or multiplying or dividing by 12s. This then would be 24. The rate, for every 1 jet, you would need 12 buses. That's our rate. Okay, so if we had 180 buses and we take 180 and you divide that by 12, you're going to get 15. And if you take 252 and you divide that by 12, you're going to get 21. So this is going to help you answer this one. So how many jets would be needed to carry the passengers on 264 buses? Well, this is 252. To get to 264, the difference between 264 and 252 is actually 12. Okay, so you would need one more jet, 22. Now, here is maybe the grossest question we've had all year. A man in India grew one of his thumbnails until it was 114 centimeters long. Don't ever do that. That's disgusting. Fingernails grow at about 2.5 or 2.5 centimeters each year. At this rate, about how many years did it take the man in India to grow his thumbnail? So for this one, you just, we have to take our 114 divided by 2.5, and it would take him 45.6 years. 45.6 years to grow that out. Okay, that's gross. Let's move on. Okay, this one. Rates. The first one, number of days per year. Okay, so we're just going to multiply by 365. So this would be 730. I'm going to switch here because I'm not going to fit it in. Okay, 365 times 9 would be 3,285. And 12 times 365 would be 4,380. Okay. Okay. How many days are there? 92. If you live to be 92 years old, you'd be 33,580 days. 33,580. For this one, again, I want you to draw out your gallons. So 1 gallon, what are other names for 1 gallon? Well, how many quarts in a gallon? 4 quarts. And I'm going to try to keep this as neat as I can. 4 quarts in a gallon. 8 pints. 16 cups in a gallon. So let's go to quarts. 1 quart. 2 pints. Okay. You have 4 cups. You go 1/4 of a gallon. Just looking for different units of measurement. 1 pint is 2 cups. It is 1/2 of a quart. And it would be 1/8 of a gallon. Okay. Number 3, draw out your number line for this one. Make sure, remember, the first one tells you would be where to start, all that stuff. This one's a little bit different, but that number line will still help you as to which way you go. So a negative number plus another negative number. We have to get to negative 23, well, negative 15. The next one is negative 17. We started with a positive 12 and we needed to get down to a negative 5. This is negative 10. And, ooh, tough one, negative 29, the difference between 115 and 144. We did not do that box. How likely is it that Raj will pick a 3 of clubs from a regular deck of playing cards without looking? So to pick a 3 of clubs from a regular deck is very unlikely. You only have 1 3 of clubs, 50 cards in a deck. 1 out of 52 chance. 10%. We've done a bunch of these. These have been on just about every math box. So if you're not sure, go back and look at some of our past ones. 10% of 860 is 86. Well, 10% of 220 would be 22. At half of that, half of 10% is 5%. So half of 22 is 11. 75% of a number, okay, is 12. So 75% or 3/4 of 16 is 12. 3/4 and 75 are the same. These have been on every single one. This is turn it into a fraction. 43.5 is actually half of 87, 50%. But you can turn these in. I'll take this one. Turn them into a fraction. 18 over 60. And remember, that's a different way to write a division problem. So if you take 18 on your calculator and divide it by 60%, remember to hit that percent key, you would get 30. Again, take 36 and 25/100ths, put it over 145, we divide it, and you would get 25%. Okay, that's it. Make sure you remember that you're going to be turning in your math book at the end. So these pages need to be done. Make sure you go back through your math and double check that you got all of our assignments done. And take charge of your own learning. Okay, gang, I'm out.